Hi guys, and welcome to this video. So I recently completed this Meta Frontend Developer Professional Certificate, and I wanted to share with you my experience with that curriculum. Right. So if you are not aware of it, so Meta is actually proposing two certificates. If you are a developer, or if you are wanting to become a front end or a back end developer, right? So this is actually for you if you are a beginner, right? So you see that it's a beginner level, but you can take it you have, even if you have already some experience, like in my case, right? So it has a 9 course series, and they are going to teach you basically the essentials. That's what I can say. So what you need to know uh, to become an efficient developer, and they just give you basically the essentials. So what I mean by that is uh, you might encounter some boot camps or some curriculums where you are learning things that you won't actually be using in your actual job, and that might end up losing your time, right? So it can be a waste of time if you are just learning stuff that you might not end up using. So what Meta does is they are solving this problem by just giving you right the tools you need to just bootstrap your career, your web development career. So let's look at its curriculum, and let's see the courses. So they are having this introduction to web development, right? And they are basically showing you what is web development. So they are giving you at the same time examples and insights from people that are working in Meta, and that's what I'm liking about it. So they are giving you examples like from real people, insights from real people that work at Meta, and that show you what is actually the web developer, what does actually a web developer do in its day-to-day uh, job, right? So they have this first course like where they show you what is a front end, a back end, and full stack developer. So what the difference between these three stacks, right? And how you can create a basic page using HTML, CSS, and like some UI frameworks. I think they are using Bootstrap. If I remember well, it's been a while. And then they dive into JavaScript, right? Which is essentially what you need. The only language you need actually if you want to become a front-end developer, right? This is the only language you need. And they just give you the essentials because JavaScript is a pretty large language. So it has so many things that you don't actually need to know, right? To be a developer, right? So you can just learn some advanced stuff later on in your career, but to just get started, you don't need to know some really advanced stuff. And then they just give you what you need to know here, stuff like variables, functions, objects, arrays, so stuff like that. And they actually, what I like about it is they actually show you how to write tests using Jest. And I haven't seen this in some curriculums. So some curriculums, they just give you the basics and then they skip this unit test or this test because testing is most of the time it's overseen by most people because they don't use it. But I think it's really important, especially if you are going to work or if you plan to work as a front end developer, right? So you will get test-driven development skills, JavaScript skills, and object-oriented programming. So this is important. This is, I can say, the most challenging part here, but you should definitely, you can definitely make it, right, if you follow the curriculum well. And then they go with version control, right, which is Git and GitHub, essentially what you need to work with other people in a team, whether you are in a team or whether you are just working in your own projects. So it doesn't matter. You need to know GitHub, at least some GitHub. Next is some uh, CSS and JavaScript, HTML and CSS in depth, right? So tools like Bootstrap, how to create responsive layouts, right? So how to make a website responsive, whether it's on mobile, on tablets, or on desktop. So you need to make your site responsive. You need to make your site adapt to the different screens, right? And then that's what they are teaching you, as well as some advanced CSS things I can say. And what I like about this section is they're actually showing you how to use the grid, right? So the grid display. And I can say that I wasn't using this grid because I was using the Flexbox, but I realized that the grid is a much more advanced technology than the Flexbox. So I can say that it's the next step, right? Uh, after after Flexbox. So very important to know. Yeah, and then they dive into a framework. So here, which is React, and we all know how much React is important nowadays in startups or in even big companies like Meta, right? Because they created uh, React, and then they are going to teach you React essentially. So how React works, what is React, and basically the building blocks of React and what you need to bootstrap or to make uh, front-end apps really fast, really efficient. Okay, so we have the advanced React, and then right, very important here is UX UI design. So I haven't done this even in my previous bootcamp. So how to use things like Figma, especially Figma. So how to create prototypes, right? So what is the UX UI process from the ideation to the prototype? So teach you very important things here. And I can say that this is going to help you a lot in your day-to-day work. I'm using Figma, and I noticed how much my Figma skills improved after taking this course. So I really recommend you uh, this section. Even if you don't plan taking on this course, you can just take this specific course, and then they finished up this certificate with a capstone, and it's pretty challenging capstone because you have to it requires all the skills that you previously learned, and it requires you to build a project based off all your previous skills, I can say. Yeah, so I can say that this part was confusing to me. Maybe it's because it's a new chapter, but there are a lot of some things that are not complete, some lessons that are still, uh, I can say, being improved, I can say. But you can dive in, right? It should be fine, right? And you have coding interview preparation after that. So how to deal with code code let's say code interviews. So how to prepare for code interviews, how to analyze a problem, how to respond to a problem, the different algorithms that you have, the data structures. So they only give you they give you all of this in this section. So all at once, I can say that this is definitely worth it if you are a beginner and if you don't have any uh, previous certificate, right? And then you want to a solid uh, certificate that's coming from Meta, right? And that can help you get a job. And they after you get this certificate, so they give you access to a job board where you can just uh, have access to jobs and where you can apply to those jobs. All right, so from Meta. So that's it for this certificate, Meta certificate professionals review. And yeah, so link is in the description, or you can just look at Coursera. And one very important thing is it's actually a paid course. I think it's 49.99 or stuff like that, 39 or 49.99. But you can apply for I think, tuition. And yeah, you have as well this 7 day access free trial where you can just try it for free for 7 days. And if you like it, you can just pursue the certificate. Right. So yeah, thank you, and see you on the next one.